Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you to this very platform, Biafra Exodus Hard Talk TV. Please like and share this program on all platforms. Share to family and friends. Make sure you get across to anyone that is close to you so that this information can get to those who need to hear us. In this platform, we bring information that has to do with the Biafran people. Information coming from the Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa and updates that has to do with the restoration of independence state of Biafra. On today's program, I am going to share with you a very important debate that was held in one of their conventional media. The discussion is mind-blowing and is a blockbuster. Pay attention to this very discussion. I believe me, after watching this program, you will learn a lot from it. Let us watch together and see what they had in stock for us. Let's watch.
Like I said, we know where these guys are. We know where they live. We know their parents.
You know them as a government?
Of course we do. They live with the same community we live.
So why is it difficult to get them?
That is the $1 million question that I should ask you.
We are trying to understand, for those of us who are now conversant with Zamfara, have never been there, and we hear you as a chief security officer speak tonight to say you know these people, but yet you can't get them. It's a head scratcher. The story that was out there with the change of the commandant was that he raised some concerns and accusations that the outfit is not being equipped and is not being funded to fight the war you have set it up for. And then he was changed a couple of weeks after.
That is not true. If you had listened to the police when he was arrested and interrogated, it was a different story. What we found out was that he was fully involved in that operation in Mada. The records are there. You can get this information from the Commissioner of Police in Zamfara State. So it's not true.
Great. Mr. Governor, I'd like to take you back to my first question when I asked you about what your state was actually dealing with. Because we hear banditry in Zamfara in the northwest of Nigeria. But by our understanding, and the simplest definition of banditry, involves groups of armed thieves. So these are thieves with just arms. Yet the challenge seems, grave, that the northwest, and particularly Zamfara State, is not able to deal with a group of thieves who have arms. So do you feel the narrative is correct to say what you're dealing with in your state is banditry, or is it something more grave than that?
Well, it all depends on classification. You can call them bandits, you can call them thieves, you can call them any name. But my understanding is what will be the reason for these banditry activities. That is number one. Two, if you talk about Niger Delta, I will say yes, there's an economic reason why people are fighting to get certain things. If you look at Boko Haram, you will say that it's a religious issue because they believe in their faith and therefore they want to defend their faith. What is the reason in Zamfara? We are the same people, 99.9% same religion. So what is the reason? What are they fighting for? This is the question.
Have you been able to find an answer to that question?
That is still what we're trying to do, because I cannot understand why. And imagine if today they're going after government officials, they say, okay, they have grievances with government officials, but they kill innocent people that barely even eat 1 square meal in a day. What could have been the reason? That must be crazy. And that is still what we're trying to find out. And to deal with that is you need to deal with these people decisively.
And in taking that decisive measures, let's talk about the role of the federal government in all of this, because so far it's been your effort we've talked about. How much of an influence does the federal government have in, or has in, fighting this war with you in Zamfara State? What's been the involvement of the federal government?
The security situation is not just for Zamfara. It's across all the northern part. However, Zamfara play a dominant role in terms of the banditry because this is where they hibernate. They moved from Zamfara to Katsina, Niger, Kaduna, Sokoto, and so on and so forth. And you know, it's the responsibility of federal government to provide safety of people, lives and property, which is the security forces that include the military, the police, as well as civil defense. Yeah, they're doing their best. However, there's a need to do more to deal with these guys decisively. Like I said, we know where these guys are. We know where they live. We know their parents.
You know them as a government?
Of course we do. They live with the same community we live.
So why is it difficult to get them?
That is the $1 million question that I should ask you.
We are trying to understand, for those of us who are now conversant with Zamfara, have never been there, and we hear you as a chief security officer speak tonight to say you know these people, but yet you can't get them. It's a head scratcher.
It is something that we are trying to all put our heads together. That is why, from what I can do as a governor, to have this CPG as a first line of defense. Of course, military are there, police are there, as well as civil defense, but they are not under my control. They are under the control of federal government, and they are doing their best. And like I said also, our security forces have the ability to crush these guys.
But they are not.
They're trying their best.
Trying their best.
Like what happened within the last 3 days when one of the major kingpin, Halilu Sububu, was killed. It is a combination of both military as well as the CPG and the community that made it possible. And I commend them for that.
Okay, I wanted to take you back to one of the questions you raised tonight about what is fueling this in Zamfara, because you seem to say, it doesn't look like there's a religion undertone to it. The people they kill are also poor, so they're
very poor for that matter.
So there is no
barely surviving.
To go after them. But there's a question of the mining, the natural resources in Zamfara state. Don't you think that is enough to fuel all of this in Zamfara state? And I wanted you to answer if the ban placed by the federal government is still in place on mining in your state.
The ban has been in place since 2018, so it's nothing new. I also met it. What I did on my own part is to also make sure the traditional institution do not give this consent form or consent letter for any mining activity in Zamfara state. And it's one reason why we had to issue an executive order that will stop giving out consent letters on mining by traditional rulers. Now, yes, there is a kind of correlation between insecurity and mining. And that's the reason why we're making conscious effort to have a clear understanding between the state and the federal government on what will be the best way to go about it. Of course, it's about revenue as far as I'm concerned. If we're able to get it together and make it functional, that means there's an additional revenue that will be coming to state government, which will be used in making some significant projects that will be for the benefit of our people. And I'm happy there's that synergy now between the state and the federal government in terms of mining activities on what will be the way forward. We're trying to fine-tune the whole thing.
Okay, so if I understand you, this ban on mining that has been in place hasn't really shifted the needle in terms of the nexus between mining or illegal mining and security in the state.
What I'm hearing is that some of the bandits are also engaged in some mining activities. For example, the guy that was killed 3 days ago, the Halilu Sububu. But the rest are just artisanal miners, so to say. So it is something, like I say, we're trying to fine-tune to understand what is really happening and what would be the best way to make it effective and functional, so that in the long run, there will be revenue coming to both federal and the state government.
Kanu is a thief. He selling Nnamdi Kanu off in Kenya. He collected money from them. When he can lead the Nigerian government and the Igbo political leaders down to Uhuru Kenyatta, they call Kanu and they said to him, forget there's a video, there's a camera all over the world, there's a CCTV, and they're watching him. That's what happened. I don't want to talk much about him. One day, judgment will start. Everybody know. All Biafra agitators, all Biafra fighters know that Kanu is one of them, and they're more powerful. All of them, they're all thieves. I don't want to mention their name here, because when we finally go, we'll start the judgment of that side. That's all. The Prime Minister himself, Simon Ekpa, is only truthful man, a man that don't like bribe, a man that Nigeria, the UK and Nigeria beg him for anything, he refuses. So Simon Ekpa is not, don't mind them. I don't want to talk about some robbers. Emmanuel Kanu, the out thieves, everybody know. I don't want to mention their name. All of them know themselves. I don't want to understand. Don't mention those traitors. There's no difference between them and Ifa, and what's them? Ifa that betrayed Ojukwu. That's what I mean now. So we know them. Don't mind us and Banjo and Co. Those one that betrayed Ojukwu. So this one's betrayed and Njoku. Those one are the one betrayed Nnamdi Kanu, but they thought they would kill him. Did they kill him? No. He's indestructible. Nobody can destroy him. That's all.
The case of Nnamdi Kanu have lingered, and it seems his case is coming up this month. There are speculations that he might be released and the North might grant him sortie. How possible could be that?
Nobody's begging them to release him. Nobody's begging North or Nigeria government, anybody to release Nnamdi Kanu. When the time comes, they will be begging him to go. It's by giving. It's by giving under that section of United Nations law. That's what the guy is demanding for. When you are adopting another country VIP from another country down to your country, which is against the law of United Nations, you must pay him his damage. What is the damage? Damage is, they ask him, you should measure money. He said, no, he said what he needs is Biafra. Pay him that damage. That's all. The damage of Nnamdi Kanu is Biafra. He said they should give him the flag. That's all. So all those talking that they were granting, it's a illiterate mentality. It's a mindset of negative people, of illiteracy. They don't understand what they call United Nations law. Anyway, the guy, Nnamdi Kanu is a United Nations lawyer. They don't understand him. That's all. Thank you.
The United Nations are watching, of course, him being suffering and being persecuted unlawfully.
Good. United Nations were watching Saddam Hussein when it was causing problem. When I said what between Kuwait and Iraq, finally what happened? They finally killed him. What the United Nations are watching Nigerians. They're watching Nigerian political leaders. They're coming after. They will come after them. You know who is United Nations?
You know, they gave 6 months ultimatum to Nigeria to release him unconditionally, but Nigeria failed to release him, and they were quiet over that.
United Nations will not come out. The police of the world is America, USA. Is a capital country of this world. Of this world, 247 nations of the whole world. America is an empire of that rule this world. American president is the police of this world. So in that case now, United Nations have submitted the document of that order to American presidents. American president refused not to carry the order because they offer him gold from Zamfara. They offer him gold in Zamfara. American president and what's the name of this robber? Obama. Yes, I mean now. They begin to turn over it. Let them continue. They don't reckon it will come. But we are going. That's all.
We are going regardless of whether United Nations support Biafra or not.
Either by giving United Nations, under the same law, United Nations, that's when Manekpa come out by taking. Under law of a United Nations, by giving Nnamdi Kanu. It's a one section, different chapter. Ayasabena, under United Nations law. So, not only what Nigeria will do to have this glory is to just release Nnamdi Kanu and give him that flag to go. So that what will before them from December 2 will not happen. That's all.
Thank you so much. Either freedom is given or taken.
Yeah.
Any of this will happen.
Will happen. That's all. Either they like it or not, the Federal Republic of Biafra has come to stay. Not devil, because God will never pardon for devil. Either they like it or not. Federal Republic of Biafra must be surely free from these anarchy countries, anarchy people, killers, poverty and suffering people. They thought they are rich, they are not rich. You know, when the father thought that his children and the children are poor, the children are poor. The man is poor. When you see a rich man, you look at the wife, you look at the children, you know that this man is a rich man. But look at Nigerians, look at Nigerian political leaders. They show they are rich. But look at Nigerians, they are very poor. Anywhere you go in different nations, they will say beware of Nigeria. So that's all.
Thank you so much for your time and submission.
Yeah, thank you, my dear brother. God bless you.
And this has been long since the time of independence till date, from the time of civil war till date. And in trying to address issues like this, it requires more than just a condemnation. It requires a dialogue, because a lot of their leaders actually have not been happy at the way things have been. This has been years, not just 10 years, 20 years, 30, but this is about 50 years or more. And they are excluded from a lot of things. The young persons are suffering. And also, if you look at the way and manner that the army or the military have handled interventions in Southeast, it has not been similar to the way they have handled issues with even Boko Haram. There have been a lot of killings, be the military killing young persons and referring to them as IPOB leaders. No law permits killing of citizens. Yeah. So it's not because maybe other persons are torturing people that it becomes a crime. And when the military tortures people, it's allowed. That is not so. Administration of Criminal Justice Act, Anti-Torture Act of 2017 actually prohibits all forms of torture. Even in times of war, torture is being prohibited. So, but this, when you come to Nigeria, these things have been happening over and over again. We cannot count the number of persons that have been murdered by the military in Southeast. So certainly when this thing continue happening and reoccurring, certainly the people at one time or the other may also get tired of being abused, and they may start to find ways to actually retaliate in one form or manner. So for me, I'm saying that this has happened a lot of years. A lot of their leaders, Southeast leaders, have complained, and traditional religions and all that have complained over time. But the federal government have not actually tried to actually address this concern. Most times it has just been army intervention in those areas. And when you overlook a lot of dialogue, a lot